Hey everybody, welcome to Friday night. Hello everybody. Welcome to Friday night. Hold still for 1 second. Small technical error. This is why we do this live.
He's having an issue with sound.
You know, the sound engineer on this project.
He's fired.
Yeah, he is fired. Yeah, we've been having a few.
Feedback, yep.
Yeah, we're good now though. We should be good now. So, all right, everybody. Cheers, first of all, to Friday. Glad you guys could join me. December the 8th. This is episode number 9. I apologize to the folks that thought they were going to see Dylan tonight from Buckeye Amplifiers. Unfortunately, Dylan had an emergency come up and wasn't able to join us tonight, so we rescheduled him. I talked with him last night. We rescheduled him for January 12th, Friday, January 12th. Dylan will be joining us from Buckeye Amps to talk about some new products, talk about some of the products he currently has out, just talk about his amplifier design, some implementation, and what he's doing for the home theater and 2-channel market. So certainly looking forward to hanging out with Dylan. It's just it kind of filled a void for tonight because we did have people asking last week about when I was going to make up my my room tour video. So that it ended up working out so we could use it. Can you hear it still?
No.
Are you sure?
Oh, it's like
I can hear it a
whispering.
little
It's
bit.
fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's way better than it was.
We just got back from going choo-choo train shopping for Catherine. She got the choo-choo train of her dreams. So congratulations to her. But we just got back and set up, and I was having some feedback issues. So anyway, first of all, you guys are awesome. Thanks to all of our subscribers and Patreon members. We are 70 people away, 70 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. We've been at this for
less than that, 60.
Is it?
Yeah.
So that is awesome. So, and we've been going at this for about 2.5 months. So our community certainly rocks. We appreciate you guys' love and support, all the emails and messages, you guys tuning in, hanging out in the comments. We certainly appreciate you guys. And all love and support. If you guys have been enjoying the content, we certainly appreciate you guys subscribing and liking and commenting and just interacting with us. This is part of the reason why we did it, was just for the awesome community. And so tonight,
Oh my God, are you the guy with all the subs?
listen to this guy. He's got a 50-inch subwoofer, 32-inch subwoofers, 21-inch subwoofers. That's Ryan. He's not frowning anymore. He's over there smiling, I'm sure. But we're going to be over there to check your room out, dude. We are certainly excited for you and your new build going on, and that's going to be awesome. The people going to M-Wave that are checking out your room, they're certainly in for a treat. I know that's going to be something insane. So tonight's episode, I also want to share with you guys, next Friday night, you're not going to miss out. The 15th, I got Matthew Pose from Pose Acoustics. And also Don Dunn is coming back from Haven Smart. We're going to be on together. They're both with Audioholics as well. And we're going to get deep into acoustical setups, room setups, dialing stuff in. Matthew's pretty much a genius when it comes to that stuff. So it's going to be pretty awesome to have him on. Actually, all the cool, awesome guests that I've been able to bring on. I've been in this hobby my whole life. And just having the opportunity to talk to some big people in the industry and other big enthusiasts, it's certainly been a pleasure of mine, and I'm happy that I can bring them on here and hang out with you guys. Tonight, we're on episode 9. We're talking about my room, which I didn't name it this. A friend of mine did, but the JTR Extreme Experience Room. He had a nice little banner made up for me and sent it to me. So that's what tonight's episode is about. Get a lot of questions on my space. I designed and built the space myself. Made a lot of mistakes along the way. I'll share some of that with you guys. But I'm just going to do a walkthrough, kind of how the setup is, why I did that, the equipment that I'm using, certain parts of the calibration that I've done. And since I get a lot of questions about my room, this just seemed like the easiest way to tackle that. So I don't know how long the room walkthrough will be. Maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, something around there. And then then I'll come back in and answer any questions that you guys have or anything you want to chat about. But plan on hanging out with you guys for about an hour tonight. So hopefully you guys have your drink mixed. I do. I haven't even said F word one time tonight, even though we're only 6 minutes. I haven't even said fun one time. I'll check the comments quick before we switch over to mine.
Just saying hello.
Awesome. Well, Catherine is manning the other computer, thumbing through the comments. So thank you for joining us, Kat. I certainly appreciate that. All right, guys.
You got me a choo-choo. I kind of obligated to.
All right, guys. So I'm going to, the only way that I could do this that kind of made any sense to me is I'm going to be streaming from my phone. So I'm going to take me out of this picture. Colin, your room definitely gave me the inspiration for 18s in my room. Hey, man, if I can be a positive inspiration in anybody's life, that's amazing to hear. So that's awesome, Colin. So I'm going to take myself off of this, and my phone is set up in the other room. And I'm just going to kind of slowly go through that room and try to cover a lot of things. If I miss something that you guys want to know, just bring it up. And all right, so let's try this out. Bear with us. We're a 2.5-month-old channel, so we have some glitches, and we can't afford a sound engineer. I was kidding. So I am removing me and adding my phone. We're unmuting that mic. Hey. All right, guys. This is the entrance to my theater. This is a sign that a buddy of mine had made up. I figured I would just share that with everybody. So this is just walking into my room, which is roughly a 14-foot by 16-foot space. We're just under 8-foot ceiling in this room. And I'm going to turn my camera to give you guys a little bit better view. Okay. I don't like that corner right there. That corner is, there's a pump in there for a seepage pump. There's also the water meter. Gas main also comes in there. So I couldn't just get rid of that. So that kind of sucks. I'm not too excited about that. I do got a GIK panel on the front of that door. And you can see I got absorption panel there. A couple other panels. We'll start at the front of the room. I'll actually take a seat. What you're looking at here is the Zapiti wallpaper wall. These are some of the movies on the Zapiti. I know the current issues with Zapiti. I don't know exactly where that's going to take me in the future for holding movies. We get movies from many sources in this room. If we're stuck with streaming something, like if we just want to rent something or watch something, it's usually done through like Apple TV. I'm still big on physical media. I got like 300 or 400 4K discs. All the new releases, I still like to go through disc. I do have about 200 movies on the Zapiti, which are also 100% rips. So, that works out fantastic. It's just like having the disc in there. The Zapiti comes best into play for me because all my demo clips are on an external drive that a buddy of mine handles for me because I don't know exactly how to do it the best yet. So all my demo clips are on the external drive, so I can just bring them up and make, I think there's like, I don't know, maybe like 1,000 demo clips on that. So then I can thumb through those and build like reels and stuff for when people come over for demos. So that works out well. So this is the Zapiti wall. A lot of people ask me this. It's something similar to the K-scape wall, not as nice, but if I get away from physical media and get away from the Zapedi, then it'll be definitely for a K-scape. So obviously, we all know that's an expensive route to go, but it's a route that I'll probably take in the future. So we'll stand up here. We'll just take care of the front of the room first. So on the front stage for the left, center, and right, they're identical speakers, which are the JTR 228 Noesis, which actually got discontinued a couple of years ago. When he was discontinuing them, I bought 5 of them for left, center, right, and for the side surrounds. So for the left, center, right, and left surround and right surround is the JTR 228s. I think they weigh around like 80 pounds a piece. They're 1200 watt RMS, 4 ohm. They get fed 350 watts each from a Rotel power amplifier that I'll show you here shortly. These 2 subs in the front, you can see I built some stands that got big, thick rubber isolation feet between the 228s and the subwoofer. There's isolation feet on the bottom, and then like a cat's saying it's really dark. Sorry about that. But you can see I kind of built a homemade stand with like rubber feet on the bottom and on the top to try to isolate from the subwoofer. The subwoofers up here are the JTR Captivator 6000s. These are the tall versions, and the 6000s instead of 4000s, they you can have JTR upgrade them to the 6000 watt amplifiers. So all the subs in this room have that upgrade. All the subwoofers in this room are actually identical, even though these are talls. The ones on the side, you see that they're the sofa table model, and then behind the seats, I have 3 of the low profile. I only took that grill off so you guys could see it. We'll come back to that speaker. And then on this side of the room, we have another sofa table. So they're all identical in that they have the identical drivers to each other, the identical internal space, the identical amplifiers, identical port tune. So they're identical subwoofers, just different box configurations. There's no specs that are different other than their shapes. Everything else is exactly the same. For the near field, I did the LPs, as you see. So there's the 18 in the top, 18 in the bottom. So there's 14 18s in this room. The seats still fully recline. There's not an issue with that. And each seat also has a butt kicker LFE bolted to it that sees 1,500 watts each from another speaker power amplifier. So each sub has a speaker power 6,000 watt, 240 volt amplifier. And then I have an 8th speaker power 6,000 watt amplifier that powers the butt kickers. So for a total of 8 of them for the LFE. So on the back, which these are new to me, and I only took one of the grills off so you could see it. These are the JTR HT110 Noesis. They replaced the Klipsch THX Ultras. So what I did with these is they have black command strips on them. Raises up maybe like a 1/4 of an inch. They won't move. Even when you play, they don't move at all. Got like 6 command strips on each. They stay put, so they're good. The seats are Palisar seats, full motion headrest, footrest, and LED lighting on the bottom. So this is a better picture of the JTR 228 Noesis. I have all the grills for these, obviously. I just took them off so you guys could kind of check them out. Dual 8s with compression driver down the middle, 1,200 watt RMS, and I want to say that they weighed 80 pounds each. And then here's a better view of the sub. All the subs have the same drivers, same amplifiers. I just took the grill off so you could kind of check them out. 18-inch long throw subs. A bunch of movies. I got a bunch of movies in the other room, a bunch of concerts. The AED case that I had inside of this case was extremely dirty, so I took it out for the movie. I want to get a new one, but they're pretty pricey. Believe it or not, I do thrifty stuff in this room. Some people don't want to believe it, but I do. This whole back wall, pretty much from this in subwoofer all the way down to that corner, I have 4-inch thick insulation on the back wall behind these curtains to help clean up the acoustics. I got another, hopefully I'm not moving the camera too fast for you guys. I got another GIK panel on this door. Just when I was treating the room and taking measurements of the room, I just wanted to make it a nice, clean acoustic presence in here, and that certainly didn't. I got to show you guys something embarrassing now that I'm certainly not very happy of, and I bitch and complain about it a lot, is the ceiling. This whole ceiling will be redone, and the JTR HTs, I'm going to get 4 of them put in the ceiling. Right now they're Klipsch 8-inch Pros, and as you can see, it's kind of hard to see them in the picture. So dark in this room. Maybe I should have set up some of my stage lighting in here. But the ceilings fell down multiple times during multiple demos. That's why there's fender washers and Gorilla tape pretty much everywhere, because people got tired of sections of the ceiling falling in their lap. But there's 4. So this would be a 7.4. I know some people call it, there's 14 subs and then 4 butt kickers, so that'd be 18 on the LFE channel. So we could call, if we wanted, we could call it like a 7.4.18. I don't really call it that, but there's just 18 things that produce bass or LFE in this room. Take a seat here. So the amplifier that you're looking at there on top is the Rotel 1095. That provides for the left, center, and right. The right surround and the left surround, all 4 ohm. So it'll do 350 times 5 in the 4 ohm. And we have another Rotel amplifier, the 1080, which powers the back surrounds, which are 8 ohm at 200 watts apiece. I got a blue sound node here with a SMSU9, SMSL SU9, a lot of S's. High res DAC that I sync up with the blue sound. The Zapiti 4K HDR, the Anthem AVM 70, beautiful unit. The Panasonic 820 4K player. Then I got a Sunfire Cinema Grand. I use that to power my Atmos speakers. It's 200 by 5. Obviously, I only have 4 speakers hooked up to it, so it's 200 by 4. And then there's another speaker power 6,000 watt amplifier down there. That's what powers the butt kickers. So, like I said, this room, it's kind of oddly shaped. I used to just be a dirty old basement. I sectioned it off how I wanted to, so we could do one side for a kids' playroom, and then one side that we could use for a theater. So I was able to fit in an Atmos setup in here like I wanted to. I get asked a lot about the electric. I did have to run 8 separate lines of 220 volt into this room for all the subwoofer amplifiers, and then all the other equipment runs off a 220 amp 120 volt like the other amplifiers, and the preamps and the projector and stuff like that, and the seats and the PS5 and all that other stuff runs off just the standard 120. So there's 8 220s coming in here, and then 2 20s of 120. For tuning, and I get asked this a lot too, the JTRs obviously are tuned extremely low. So I get good in-room response, pretty much flat to around like 7, 8, and then it drops off pretty quickly. And I tune all that, and I can't show you because it'd be a huge pain in the ass to show you. But behind that rack, I have 2. I kind of changed my setup around, but right now I'm running 2 2x4 HD mini DSPs, which will handle 8 subs. So I'm pretty much have all those taken up because 7 outputs go to 7 subs. 1 output goes to the butt kickers. So I have each sub I get to individually control with time delay, gain, and EQ. and I get to treat the butt kickers as something completely different with time, delay, EQ, and gain. And what's nice with the mini DSPs is they'll both work off the same remote. I have all 4 presets set, all for different things. The 2 I use the most is just my normal setup, which is about a 12 dB house curve. And then I have another setup that really turns the subs down, but cranks the butt kickers up for more of like a late night, late listening session where I can still get a lot of good vibration, but the subs aren't turning the house down. The Anthem AVM 70 is worked out fantastic for me. The Rotel power amps have been amazing. I've had those for a long time. Got them since new. I think they're like, the Rotel amps got to be around 12 or 13 years old now. They absolutely work amazing. The Sunfire, the amplifiers are older, but I've never had an issue, so there was never a need for me to change them out. If something does happen with them, I probably end up going Class D, something like Buckeye. I've had my eye on their stuff, so try to give you guys a couple more views of the space. This room can be demoed when I do my Bass Brings Us Together. This room has seen roughly probably 350 people in it over the last 3 years. It's unfortunate to the people that I, had to tell them that we were at capacity. I got some news coming up about the new Bass Brings Us Together for 2024. That's going to be in a whole different episode. But if you want to experience this room, all you got to do is chime in and let us know. So for the calibration, these, first of all, that seat right there is Catherine's, Kat's. Then that's mine. And then these other 2 seats are one of the kids, or if we have friends over. But so I pretty much calibrated the whole room for those first 2 seats. The third seat doesn't look too terrible. The 4th seat sucks. It's a piece of shit. If I hate you, I'll put you in that seat, pretty much. Just kidding. But that's where I'll sit if we have company over. But yeah, I calibrated for the first 2 seats for the audio. That's what means the most to me. The third seat just happened to turn out pretty decent. But no, I don't really care too much about that. So this is a 132-inch screen that I built myself. I pretty much put the projector on the wall, shot it on the wall, etched it out to where I wanted it to be, to where it had good distance between the front 2 speakers. And then I built a black frame around it, and then painted it white. This was a couple years ago. I've repainted it a couple times. I forgot what kind of paint. It was actually a JVC rep that suggested it to me. The JVC projector that I'm using is an older one, a JVC 590R that's been calibrated. I just put a new bulb in it. We just calibrated not too long ago. I don't know. I love it. It still provides an amazing picture. The black levels are good. The color looks really nice. And the NX series is better. And the NZ9 and the NZ series is even better in some ways over the NX, obviously. I just haven't seen a huge significant jump to just go crazy about buying a new projector. I will, but I'm still absolutely in love with this one. So it looks so black around my screen because one of the biggest things that I did, and it didn't even cost that much money, is I put black velvet on both side walls, also on the ceiling back about 3 feet. So up each side wall about 3 feet, down the ceiling about 3 feet, and also laid some black velvet across the top of the subwoofers. What's funny is these subwoofers and that center channel, you can't even slide a piece of paper. It was just a dream come true for me. We had to take the feet off the subwoofers and pretty much kick them into place, and it might have bowed the wall out a little bit on each side. But yeah, that was a pure coincidence that all this actually fit together, and I was able to keep a 132-inch screen. I've had a few issues with this screen. It does have like 6 or 7 patches in it where screws and stuff have popped out, and I've had to patch the screen and repaint the screen. So most people really enjoy the screen and don't notice it or they don't say anything. But when I'm watching it, I can tell where I've done some of the patches from. So, and behind the front left and the front right speaker has 4 inches of insulation. And then behind the center channel to the floor has about 12 inches of insulation. I was just trying to call some of that reverberation off the back of the speakers. And it sounds really good in this room. When I changed the ceiling over from these little acoustic tiles that I thought was a good idea to a solid drywall ceiling, I know I'm certainly going to be happy with the look. I'm just not 100% certain. I hope that it doesn't affect the sound too negatively. But that's I guess a discussion for another day. I'm going to end up tearing this whole room apart and take everything out of here to do the ceiling, which every time I get on here and bitching about it, I know I need to just do it. Even Kat is telling me, dude, just do it, get it over with. So I got to stop listening to complain about it and buy the speakers and buy the drywall and get it done. So the projector shakes a lot. I get that question a lot. I did tear the back part of the ceiling apart and braced it between the joists, and I got a nice chief mount and tried to use some isolation pads on it. It did help out a lot. But still under heavy SPL, it'll shake. Now in this room, we measured with the term lab at the headrest of my seat. A max SPL in this room, we hit 150.7. And I believe that was like right around 19 or 20 hertz. And at 10 hertz, we were hitting 143.8. If I do end up getting another subwoofer or two, even though Kat's listening to this, it would go right here. I would get rid of this and get another LP. So you would have 4 identical, and then I would get another one that would go up to the ceiling. So 2 LPs will fit here for a total of 18 18s in this room. Right now we're running around 50,000 watts, and that would bump us up to around 62,000. So you never know in the future. PS5, unfortunately, I don't get to use it very often. I don't have a lot of free time. You know, what's funny is you do when you come over have to sign insurance waiver, and a lot of people ask me about that, if it's a gimmick or not. We think that it's just funny to say that to somebody, but and I've said this before, is we've had a couple people run out of the room and say that it's messed with them or made them feel strange or funny. And one guy was grabbing his chest and thought he was going to have a heart attack. And a buddy of mine that's a lawyer, he came and sat in the room, and he gets in all this crazy shit. And he's like, yeah, you might want to have people sign something, because they could come back and hit you, for like hearing loss or something. He goes, that could be a real concern. So we do it. We think it's funny. We laugh about it. But I guess if something crazy was to happen, then at least I kind of warned everybody about it. So I will be getting off here in a second and hopping back on the computer. If anybody has any questions about something, I should be able to answer it. But yeah, this is a 14 by 16 foot space with just under 8 foot ceiling that we kind of did ourselves. And I've been building this room for a while. For the people like, oh, you got all that stuff in that room, must be nice. I do. I certainly enjoy it. I feel very lucky that I've been able over the years to acquire this stuff. But this room has been about 5 years in the making. And some of it came from my last build that was 5 years in the making. So this all certainly didn't happen overnight. So, all right, guys, I'm going to click this screen off and click my other screen back on. I hope that I addressed a lot of the questions that everybody had. If not, I will answer them. All right, let me click this off. Ta-da!
Magic.
Look at that. That was, remember we were talking about that rusted out?
You were talking about more subs. I heard you.
Yeah, well, I got to give the people what they want.
Oh, speaking of that, remember the other night when we were on, I said, "Oh, what was that thing you taught me in bed?" No.
Whoa, whoa,
When we were laying
that's for our other episode.
when we were laying in bed, I was asking you a question. Remember the question? And we couldn't remember what the other one
Yeah,
was.
about the coaxial driver.
The driver.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You were asking what was at the end of the horn.
No, I was asking what the driver is, and then you told me it's the speaker. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, the driver and the speaker. Yeah. Or two-way coaxial and RTJs, and then there's okay. Okay, all right, guys. Let me go through the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I was always. Oh, where am I going? I'm heading up or I'm heading down?
You're missing them.
Oh, am I? Oh, sorry. Plenty of Coors Light in the fridge. Well, there you go, brother. I'm always down for a cold beer. We're mobile. Yes, Warren. Hey, brother. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Warren, those JTRs are low-tuned monsters. You've also had SVS and PSA. PSA are also supposed to be large, loud, and low. How much more performance do you gain by the jump to JTR? I got not bad to say about SVS or PSA. Certainly, I enjoyed the SVS while I had them for a couple of years. When I made the move to PSA, it really outdid the SVS in performance. At the time when I had PSA, they were low tune subs, not like the low tune subs they have now. I believe because I had 8 of their 18s, and believe the tuning on them, which is still low, don't get me wrong, but I believe they're tuned to around like 16 or 17 hertz. Absolutely a lot of mid bass. Actually, when I was making the move from PSA to JTR at that time, I knew I was going to gain a lot of low output, but I was concerned about losing some mid bass. And then after seeing the drivers and seeing the design and talking with Jeff from JTR and him explaining how sensitive his speakers were and how just how the design overall worked and how his DSP and all that works, that I wouldn't be losing any mid bass. So I only bought one JTR at first, and I kept all my PSA stuff, and I compared it in my room. At the time, if I knew I was going to be doing a YouTube channel in the future, I would have saved some of those old roof sweeps from years ago. But mid bass level, I'd say at that time the JTR and the PSA were very close to each other. I didn't feel it, and I really prided the PSA on having super slam on the chest, and that I didn't want to lose that. But JTR definitely kept that, and then on my graph, pretty much around
Oh wait, never mind.
Around 16 hertz, where the PSA would kind of roll off, and then the JTR was still going smooth. And then even around like 11, 12, 10 hertz is actually just going up because we're getting around its port tune. And then around 8 hertz, 7 hertz, it would fall off. So the SVS isn't in the same conversation with the PSA and the JTR when it comes to that, but it's also a lot smaller box and cheaper. I'm not saying anything bad about it because, like I said, it did provide good bass for me. But for the ultimate bass output, when I started looking at PSA and JTR and stuff, a lot larger boxes, more money, harder to move around. No app, if that was important to you. But the JTR definitely, it kept the mid bass and just gave me a ton of low end output. And now that I have the low end output, I believe that I would really miss it if I didn't have it. So that was kind of my. And I had like Valadyne and other SVS products and Eclipse GHX Ultras. We talked about this a week or two ago on the subwoofer one that I did. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't see myself moving away from the JTR stuff because I have an abundance of low end and abundance of a lot of my DSP settings are bringing stuff down. I got peaks at like 10 hertz. It's silly to say about all these subs, and I actually got to bring the 10 hertz down. And I still have a crazy curve at the bottom. And then I still like 20 to 40 is up. I got to bring that down some to kind of level things off. So in my DSP, I'm lucky that I don't boost anything. Everything is just bringing stuff down to make it look better. So I hope that answered your question, Warren. I certainly appreciate your support, brother. We talk in and out, not just on this podcast, but on private messenger and stuff. So I certainly appreciate you hanging out, brother. What we got? Also, what kept you from DIY with something like GSG, stereo integrity, and speaker power? That's a good question because I know GSG does some monster builds, and there's some guys out there doing some crazy DIY stuff. My biggest thing is I knew that I wanted ultra high-end performance, and I knew I wanted a lot of low bass, and I knew I didn't want to have a lot of issues. I beat on my stuff. I mean, everybody that's come for a demo or seen my videos, they know I don't take it easy on anything. So I wanted something that was durable and that would last and live through an extreme experience. Like when we do our big get together, that system runs pretty much at reference or higher for 12 to 14 hours. And if I had a lot of extra time and the want to build something, I could see doing something fun and cool. But I pretty much just wanted to go with somebody that was well known in the business for performing something extraordinary. And it was just easier to order something and have it pretty much just show up. And then I ever thought, well, if I had to, if we moved or for some reason, you know, I needed to get my hands on some money, you know, if things went bad, that the JTRs are pretty easy sell, especially here in Chicago area. I wouldn't have no problem moving those within probably just a day or two. Anything with the DIY, I've actually had good buddies that have built amazing performing subs that they could literally get nothing for. A buddy of mine, he had a dual 21 build. He pretty much just used the boxes as firewood, and he sold the drivers for a couple $100 or whatever. And then, you know, the resale value, I mean, if you like building it, that's awesome. If I had some free time, I go crazy with work, as a lot of you guys know that I'm friends with. I pretty much work all the time, and I just a proven performer that I knew, you know, because for years JTR, they still hold like the loudest commercial sub for the lowest output. So I just wanted to go that route for many different reasons. And after going through Jeff's shop and a little tour and him just kind of show me what he does, and I seen he puts the absolute best stuff into his products, and knowing that it would be an easy resell and that it would work good in my space. And after experiencing a couple of his products in other people's spaces, that was why I went that route. So I've experienced some crazy DIY stuff, no doubt. And I experienced some GSG stuff at M-Wave. It's awesome for everybody, for me, for you, that there's choices. No doubt. Everybody approaches the hobby from a different way. And I always tell everybody, it don't matter where you're at in the hobby, as long as I'm having a good time and you're having a good time, then we're all enjoying the hobby for what it's supposed to be. So I stand true on that. So, hi, brother. Hopefully that wasn't too long of an answer for your question. Where are we at here? Cat left me for a second. A collection of great vintage and current gear in that rack. Yeah, believe it or not, I do get cheap. If I buy something and it works fantastic, I don't mind hanging on to it. I don't need to upgrade something every year or two. If I get stuck in my head, like, hey, I want to have more bass, I want to have such crazy output or something, then that's why I do that. But no, the amplifiers work good if there's no hums and no hissing or overheating or protection mode, and it's giving me good clean sound, then yeah, man, they can hang out until they pass on. The speakers I'll keep for a long time too. The speakers I loved before these, being Klipsch Ultra 2s, I had those for 10 years. I thought they were great speakers, and I still have them to this day if they could just have given me more output. And unfortunately, they couldn't. But I still hung on to them for 10 years because I really enjoyed them. So, Fred, JTR, what JTR speakers are those? On the left, center, right, and back two surrounds, those are the JTR 228s, which got discontinued a couple of years ago. When I found out that Jeff was discontinuing them, I bought 5 of them because I always knew I wanted them. That's kind of pushed me to do my change from the Klipsch Ultras to JTR. The back surrounds are the JTR HT 110s. And then all the subwoofers are the Captivator 6000s. I have 2 talls, 2 sofa tables, and 2 LPs. So hopefully that answered your question, buddy. What do we got here? If vintage gear still makes you happy, then there's no need to jump on the latest. Yeah, dude, no doubt. I changed my processor out, every 3 to 5 years, just because that technology does change for sure. But the amplifier power and the speakers, no, those usually hang out with me for a little bit. So yeah, I got no problem with keeping some stuff 5, 10, 15 years. That's awesome. Well, thanks, buddy. Hey, Brian, we were chatting actually right before we went live. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man. I certainly appreciate it. Brian, I have drywall now, and I was thinking about doing drop ceiling. Figure that would be easier. And when I did Atmos, why are you switching to drywall? Well, what sucks is I have right now, I have like these little acoustic panels, which I don't know, are maybe like 8" by 8", and they like tongue and groove to each other.
Original, probably from the 80s.
Yeah, so the house was built like in 88 or it's something in the mid 80s, and they're probably original to then. And I didn't have a problem with it at first. I had 2 PB16s in there, and then I had 2 PB16s and 4 PB2000s, and it was still fine. And I painted the ceiling, of course, to match the rest of the room. But then when I made the change to PSA, I started a lot of dust and a lot of movement, and we were noticing some issues. And when I switched to JTR, then we were losing big pieces, and I would have to like glue and tape and keep that old rusty El Camino going of a ceiling that I have. I complain about the ceiling a lot.
Yeah, it's not like current drop ceilings that have like the tracks
Yeah.
and all that.
This is like old school acoustic tile. It's like tongue and groove, and then they like stapled it up with like these little trim pieces. It's not a terrible idea, but if you put a lot of base into it, then it certainly wasn't a good idea. So I'll switch over to drywall and we'll paint it. And then when I actually remove the whole ceiling, we'll do the joist to hold the JTR Atmos speakers. So it sucks because I got to literally move everything out of this room, plastic everything off, tear the ceiling completely out, mount 4 of the JTR Atmos speakers. So, I got the time and the money into doing the ceiling, then buying 4 Atmos speakers, then plus completely tearing my room down and putting it apart. So, yeah. But it's really the last thing I got to do in a room that is any kind of major construction. And I still get to enjoy the room every day, so it's not really a dire need. I just haven't decided if I'm going to do it before or after Base brings us together. So I should probably make up my mind on that. Where are we going now? Charlie B, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining us this evening, this Friday night. Sorry, I got to take a drink. All that talking, man, makes me thirsty. What size is your screen and how far is it from your ceiling? Well, the screen is custom made, like I said, by me. It's 132" 16 by 9 format. From my eyes to the screen is roughly right at 11 feet. Sorry about that. So yeah, about 11 feet from my eyes to the screen, 132" in a 16 by 9 fashion. Then I did the velvet on both sides and the top. I recommend that to anybody with any size screen, anywhere with a projector. Fairly cheap, certainly pretty cheap compared to everything else, and just helps out your contrast, your HDR, your SDR. It really just helps out everything. I hear you laughing over there, Catherine. What are you laughing at? Edward, I'm serious about helping move all that equipment out of your room, so please let me know when you want to do that. Don't threaten me with a good time, Edward. I'll do it because especially if I buy 2 more subwoofers, I'm gonna need help bringing those other subwoofers into the room, brother. I will. I'll certainly reach out to you, and I've had a few other people too that have reached out to me that wouldn't mind giving me a hand. It just sucks because literally the space that we're using in the podcast area now has a lot of the kids' shit in it because for like their grocery store and our dollhouse and now our computer setups and lights. So how I'm gonna, it's not gonna be fun. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, it's gonna
suck. It's gonna suck. But thanks, Edward. I will certainly keep you in mind, brother. I appreciate it, and you will be hearing from me. Warren, what's up, brother? Thank you for humoring my questions. Just trying to ask what others may be thinking. Hey, man, no doubt. I get a lot of questions about the room, and even after this, people will ask me questions, I'm sure. but this is just kind of a video. When Youth Man was actually here and we sat down and did like a podcast kind of interview, he had a few people that reached out and like, oh, why didn't you actually show the room? And he's already done 2 room videos on the room. But I understand that some people are curious about, what's going on or some updates that have been made. So I kind of wanted to do this, and it just happened. This was actually not supposed to be a Friday night video. This was going to be just a random extra video I was going to throw in, like I'm going to do one on the transducers and near field subs. But last second, because Buckeye Amps had an emergency come up, we just kind of filled that in with tonight. So where am I at? Why is it so safe? Oh, because you took it off. Yeah, okay. That community should buy you a Q stick.
Because how you say,
huh?
How you say acoustic? You say a Q stick.
Oh man! Now you sound like Cat giving me shit about that. A Q stick. Yeah.
Q. Instead of Q, it's Q.
That's it. We're ordering more subwoofers. Email Tony at JTR. Use your credit card.
Yeah.
I see Kat enjoying herself. Mikey himself, I'm stuck in Dallas. Friggin' airplanes, man. Oh, dang, brother, would you get caught on a layover or a broken plane or something? Hopefully you get out of there soon. Have yourself a drink and, I don't know, take a nap. That's what I would do. Popcorn. I'm sure you asked this question, but is your electric bill high with so many watts flowing through your theater? No, we've never noticed anything. Pretty much you got to understand that all that stuff really only draws if you're going crazy. We can watch a movie pretty much at reference level and nothing's getting pushed at all. Just a couple of watts pretty much here and there just because there's so much going on in that room. But no, we've never noticed a big jump in the electric bill. I couldn't imagine that to run the theater costs an extra $5 a month or some $5 or $10 a month. I don't think it's really that much. You got to realize that most of the time when you're listening to something or watching something, you're only using a handful of watts. So, no, never really noticed when we didn't or did have a theater or a stereo setup. It's never really changed anything. Broken plane already did. Oh, he already did take a nap. Oh, dang,
or
man.
get a cocktail. Did he take a nap
Yeah.
or get a cocktail?
Oh, did you already get a cocktail or did you take a nap?
First comes cocktail, then comes a nap.
Yeah, unless you're stuck in Vegas, then they got plenty of stuff for you to do in that airport. Which
What? Go ahead.
which I'm looking at going to Vegas.
Stop it.
All right, man.
So
Well,
what's everybody doing with their Friday night?
yeah, what are you guys all up to? And let me share some love for some other stuff going on. If you haven't got your tickets yet, M-Wave, I swear I don't get paid no advertising fees on that. I am just a big fan. I don't even get free tickets. I wouldn't take the free tickets if Michael and Ryan offered them to me. I have no problem at all helping those guys out. They're throwing pretty much only a home theater centered event in Kansas City. This is their 3rd year. Kat's coming with me next year. She's going to be volunteering. They got some new guys coming out there, got cool experience rooms. We've had a lot of people reach out to us that they're excited about meeting us, hanging out with us, grabbing a drink with us, just whatever. So if you guys haven't got your tickets yet, we got our tickets on day one just to show our love and support to the Youth Man and to the M-Wave events. So just like to show them some love. For the guys, man, we got like 15 new people that sign up for the Race to 1,000 subscribers. We're giving away, and we got like 60 or 70 more to go, but in 2 weeks, Kat and I are coming on and we're giving away some AirPods and some gift cards, and just for giving back to the community. That's been certainly awesome with us. All you got to do, super simple, and it's no BS. We're doing a random name generator. We're excited just to give something back to you guys. This
last chance.
Yeah, this
Get
is
on in it.
pretty much the last chance. I think we, if all goes well, we should be hitting 1,000 subscribers possibly this weekend. So we certainly appreciate the likes and the subscribes, all the comments. If we miss anybody's comment or anything, I promise you it's not on purpose. We both try to get back to everybody just because we really do enjoy doing this. This is our email, livingitwithscottandcat@gmail. If you want to get into the contest, all you got to do is just email us that you subscribed, Race to 1,000, boom, you're in. And then that'll be a good little night right before Christmas. We're going to do some giveaways, get back to you guys. We have some if you want to stay in contact with us more, because we go live once or twice a week depending on what week it is. We do have a Facebook page, and I don't see what happened to it. Oh, here we go. It's the Living It podcast with Scott and Kat Facebook group. You guys, it's a public group. You're more than welcome to join. Just cool, laid back atmosphere, community. We don't deal with no BS in there. If you guys want to just kind of share what's going on in your life, we share what's going on in ours.
Yeah, we had some people putting their home theater updates in there. That was really cool.
Yeah, no, that's all. This is all just community driven. Like I said, I've been in this hobby my whole life. This was just something for me to do as an extension of the hobby, to hang out with you guys. I've got the chance to have a lot of you guys over into my home, or I've visited your guys' home, or I've met you at an audio event. And this is just something cool. There's just, no drama, just laid back. Some people hanging out for an hour or two here or there. So we got some more. You guys. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, here we go. With only 300 watts per channel on your LCR and sides and rears, how many dB does your front stage peak at? More than I can stand. I'm not I don't listen loud. Mid-range and high frequencies, usually reference is good for me. I could pump 1200 watts RMS into those if I wanted, but I promise you I'm not even using the 350 that I'm putting into them. I get into the bass being loud. Obviously, I know a lot of people know as the lower hertz you go, like once you get down to like 30, 20, 18, 15, 10, you really got to start bumping it up. That's why we do house curves, to make it seem more natural, because our ears don't, take in that information like we do with the higher frequencies. I wouldn't see no benefit of doubling or tripling my power to those. I don't even use the 350 that I'm providing to them. My best guess, I'm probably hitting reference off just a handful of watts from everything. I probably use the subs pretty much close to their max when I'm doing a high dB like drag type demo. That would be the only reason I would think about adding another sub or two if I wanted to bump up the lowest of those numbers. But right now I'm very content with everything. But yeah, you got to understand efficient speakers in a smaller space. And I'm just not a big fan of like super high frequencies. I'm actually going to go, and I'll probably make a little vlog or video about that, because I've been listening to loud music for as long as I can remember. I'm actually going to go get a hearing test done. I'm interested in seeing how that turns out. So I'll definitely do maybe like a quick 10 or 15 minute. I'm going to call audiologist next week, because I'm very curious on that. You guys going to the VIP experience number 1? I'm going to number 6. 10 to zig when others say, oh, okay.
We don't have any plans.
We're not going to any of the VIP experiences. The only reason why that is Kat's going to be volunteering for the event. I'm going to be helping out a little bit at the event too. I might be helping maybe out with the JTR guys or something, or somebody else if they need some help. And we're staying at the casino. Kat and I are also using this kind of as like just a personal getaway. So we'll be at the event all day. At night, we're going to probably go out and have a couple of drinks, or maybe go hang out with some of the other members and just kind of, or go out and grab dinner. The night usually lasts for at least a few hours. And then her and I will probably, because we both enjoy gambling, we'll be at the casino. We'll probably do that for a couple hours, and then we'll be back to M-Wave. So when I went by myself last year, it's pretty much team no sleep. There's something going. There's a lot of stuff going on even when M-Wave's not going on, and so that was the only reason we didn't partake in that this year. Is I just didn't want to have to be somewhere at a certain time, especially with her helping out at the event and me helping out at the event. She's doing more help than I am. So, but we're certainly going to see you, and we're going to hang out with you there, Warren. But no, we won't be at the VIP experiences. And heck, I think like 80 or 90% of them are pretty much wrapped up. Those guys had an awesome turnout. What do we got? Big Swag, y'all ever listen to any EDM dubstep? Oh man, tell me this ain't a great question. Man, all kinds. me and Kat are big. Now we listen to everything around here. Kat, we listen to some country. By some, I mean she listens a little bit of
What do
country.
they say? It's polyamorous.
Polyamorous,
We get into
yeah.
everything.
We listen. We've gone to see Yanni in concert. We've seen Metallica in concert. We got tickets for next year for Metallica. We flew out to Vegas for a pool party for Skrillex. Yeah, but we do. We both get into EDM and dubstep a lot in on both of the systems. We jam out with them, and even at our big event like Bass Brings Us Together, we certainly play a lot of that stuff too. But yeah, dude, definitely big fans of all kinds of music. But I enjoy a lot of bass, and yeah, I'm down with the EDM and the dubstep for sure, no doubt. So I was excited you asked that question because I certainly do, man. So thanks, big swaying. I can't see where you left us off, Catherine.
Oh, sorry.
You know you're gonna get fired from this job.
Sorry, man. Kids call.
This is $3 a month. I don't know where we got. You gonna give away JTR 4000? Oh, this guy must be lost. I might buy one, but I don't think I'm giving any away.
Mikey says he's got to get on that email.
Yeah, dude, no doubt, Mikey. Yeah, man, hit us up. We hope you win, man. Good luck to everybody. We're gonna come on here and we're just gonna shoot the shit with everybody, and we're gonna hang out, and we're gonna just do a random name generator, and everybody gets the same odds of winning. Awesome, man. Good luck to everybody. We're happy to do it. The love and support, like I said, that we have gotten from you guys, we're blown away. We just sit around and talk about it all the time, and just people, the positivity. We try to give some positivity. You guys certainly give it back, and all the crazy shit going on in this world nowadays. It's certainly nice to just have a good group of people you can hang out with. Yeah, the projector, that projector, even though it does HDR, it does better on SDR. So all the calibration was done on SDR. So just happy with the picture on SDR with that. So we did calibration with the Panasonic player, and when we put the new bulb in, we checked on both too, and the SDR was still doing. Yeah, so we're running an SDR. If I go to a laser, then I'll probably introduce HDR again. So, do you use any room correction software? Which ones do you like? I do. I use the ARC in the Anthem. I don't let it do anything with the subs. I do all my own personal calibration through multiple mini DSPs and RU, and but I let ARC handle pretty much the speakers, and then I even still adjust those after ARC is done. I had Odyssey before that, and I dabbled with Dirac some as well with HTP1 before. I believe ARC does a very good job. I still make some adjustments to that. I like very minimal EQ in my mids, highs, and subs. Anything I want to do, I want to bring it down. I never add. I've never liked adding anything in the EQ for mids and highs and subs. So I try to take away from anything. To me, just gives a smoother, fuller, and not like a harsh or overdriven type sound. So that's just kind of my 2 cents. And everybody's different, which is fine. Better late than never. Dang. What were you doing, sir? You can't give me no shit about not shaving. I don't even look that bad. Brian, you begin with the speaker sensitivity 1 watt 8 ohm, 2 watt 4 ohm, the double power per 3 dB, keep going to 300 watts, and calculate losses.
Was he replying?
Oh yeah, he was. Oh yeah, he was replying to. Okay.
Oops.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
tired.
No, that's fine. We'll just dock your pay. I want to volunteer at MWave.
They have a website.
Yeah, Kat went through this, so go ahead, honey, explain.
I'd have to figure out what it was, but
You can go to the MWave.
MWave, yeah, and then there's a tab somewhere on there where you click to volunteer, and then you just sign up for it. That's what I had to do.
Yeah, go to Midwest AV.
And there's different categories that you can sign up for.
Yeah, Catherine is handling some of the registration. Yeah, checking registration. Yeah. Where we at? I currently have 2 PSA subs and have been chasing that body shaking bass for dubstep. Didn't know if JTR were any better at that genre. Well, some of the dubstep, centers around like 30 hertz or so. My PSA subs and JTR subs definitely both gave a lot of bass at that. When I started dabbling a lot with bassotronics and that, like Bass I Love You and that kind of stuff, where you're talking 20s, low 20s, and then some other of it getting into like the teens, then the JTR certainly exceeded the PSA's capabilities. Depending on what PSA subs you have, I'm a fan of PSA subs. I used them for years and I had multiple of their products. It's just that the best way for me to describe it, especially for the needs and what I was trying to do, is I was looking for a very violent playback. And I drove out. I've told the story 35 times. I'll tell it 36 times just because we have so many new subscribers since I told it the last time. Before I made the huge jump to doing all the JTR subs in my setup, PSA was just coming out with the TV42, which is a very popular subwoofer, dual 21-inch iPels, obviously very powerful drivers with a 4,000 watt amp. Now they offer 8,000 watt amp. I drove, which from my house is like a 16-hour, 17-hour round trip. Left out very early in the morning, showed up home very late at night. I drove out there to demo a prototype that PSA was building because I didn't know if I was going to buy 4 or 6 of those. I listened to it. I was impressed. Very good subwoofer. Drove home. Then I drove up to JTR in Wisconsin, which round trip for me was maybe like 4 hours. Listened to the Captivator. Both were in kind of a warehouse setting with kind of music and stuff that I get into. And the JTR sub gave me a more violent feedback, and that was what I was looking for. That's why I made that move all to JTR. I didn't have a preference of the brand. I was really just looking because costs were all pretty much close to the same. In my mind, they were both, it was a good amount of money for either one. I just wanted what I thought was the best experience for what I was looking for, which is just violence, a lot of clean, violent bass, and that was why I went that route. So, it's kind of my answer for that. If you're around the Chicagoland area, I host little get-togethers often where it's a couple guys that come by. When I have my free time, we also offer our big get-together, which can't tell you the date because that's a secret. I will be letting that know right after the first of the year, and that'll be another episode where we're talking nothing about our big event base brings us together, where we'll bring 50, 60 people pretty much from all over the country, even some people out of the country, which still amazes us. Cannot believe that people fly in from all over to come listen to our radios. But yes, honey, they do. So, and look,
I met them. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, shoot us an email, big swaying. If you're in the Chicagoland area, if I get some free time, man, I don't mind entertaining for an hour or two. I got a list of like 8 or 9 guys that are. You
took me off of there.
Oh, I'll bring it back. But this is our email, man. If you want to reach out, try to grab a demo if you're anywhere around Chicagoland area. What was your question? Charlie B, how are you connecting all your subs to the Anthem AVR 70? All right, Charlie. So pretty much I take the AVM 70. Obviously has two subwoofer outputs. I'm only using one of them that I Y off. So it can all be controlled off of one sub. So there's a Y. One goes into one mini DSP, one goes into the other mini DSP, which gives me 8 channels of mini DSP for 7 subwoofers. That gives me 100% control over each subwoofer for gain, for time delay, for EQ, and then on the 8th channel, that goes to another speaker power 6,000 watt amp that powers my butt kickers, and that gives me complete control over the butt kickers as well for time delay, which is very important, and EQ and gain. So all the butt kickers, all the subwoofers, I get to treat as complete individual to get them completely tuned together, and then that presents it to the AVM 70 as one big virtual sub, and then I can blend that in with the mains. So now I'm only doing it that way because I already had all these mini DSPs. If you're doing something now, then you could go with like a Flex 8 that offers, which I believe I was just talking to Brandon Hill the other day, you got to buy some special adapters or something for RCAs. But the Flex 8 is a little bit easier because it has 8 outputs, but I already had the mini DSP 2x4s, so that's why I went that route. Like I said, I'm cheap. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, I can be cheap. All of my back wall are Walmart curtain panels, black panels covering a bunch of insulation. It can't get much cheaper than that. So,
Guess you spend all the big money where it counts, right?
mm-hmm. So far, you're the only reason I would fly to Chicago from Las Vegas.
We love Vegas.
I love Vegas. I go
it.
3-4 times a year. I would actually leave tomorrow. I would go.
He's been trying.
Yeah. Hey, if you do come to Chicago just for that, if you would, man, do it around Base brings us together. I'll certainly fit you in. People that are coming from very long distances, we certainly figure out a way to fit them in. We were doing demos at 1 a.m. on that Friday night beforehand for somebody that was pretty much leaving out of the country, but didn't want to miss out. So when I have that event going on, we do what we can for the hobby. That's for sure. But anyway, back to Vegas. Yeah. Once I'm done with this, I'm packing my shit. I'm out of here. And I'm definitely that guy. No, here I'm gonna answer this question. Oh, Gio's watching me. What are you watching over there, Mark? Warren Wilson, I was just wondering with 50,000 watts for the subs and his other speakers could keep up. Well, the 50,000 watts for the subs, you got to realize a lot of that power I use down when I'm running a demo, like a 150 dB demo, then everything is loud. But even during regular movie viewing, if you want to run reference at like, or above reference at like 7, 8, 9, 10 hertz, you're using up a ton of power. So I don't know how much wattage I'm using then, but to hit reference, at 10 hertz, it's certainly taking up a lot of power, and to hear or feel that certainly chews up a lot of power, a lot of excursion as well too. Big Swain put the PSA near field. It's game changer. My chairs are now massage chairs. Yeah, definitely. When I used the PSA, I had 2 PSA dual 18s up front under my screen. I had 2 dual 18 PSAs behind my seats, and I certainly enjoyed them. I'm a big fan of near field. If you're going to do near field, and I'm doing a whole nother episode on this, but if you're going to do near field, certainly key is dialing them in. They usually need a ton of delay. Sometimes they need some other filters as well too to make them seem more natural. But if you time delay them correctly and get them tuned correctly with your other subs, it just seems like a really massive experience, and you can't really locate the subs right behind you. If you don't do it with any time delay, then I could always tell that the subs were right behind me. Edwards, thank you both for the tour. Good night. Hey, man, Edwards, thanks for hanging out, brother. We got a lot of cool guests coming up. We got some big plans for 2024. Certainly glad that you are part of the community. What else we got going on here, Catherine? I told everybody I was on time up for about an hour. I'm terrible about this hour shit, ain't I? We're going like an hour and 10 minutes. I'm always Brian, that's awesome, you guys, with your kilowatt systems. I got hundreds of watts in my arsenal thus far. You know, Warren, and hundreds of watts is plenty too, man, because I promise you that 90% of the time I'm using hundreds of watts. So yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. If you're enjoying yourself, that's what the hobby's about. Are you losing any preamp voltage by splitting the sub output on the Anthem as opposed to using both sub outputs? Well, there's 2 reasons. No, I'm not using anything. My subs are still being able to be pushed to their full capacity if I want them to. And another big thing I don't want to use 2 sub outputs for is because then I'm splitting the subs up, and I would always have to move up sub 1 and sub 2 equally and move them down equally. But I measured the subwoofers, and I was still able to get maximum output out of them. When I was running with 2 sub outputs, I could hit 150.7. When I was running with just 1 sub output, I could still hit 150.7. So, but yeah, it was a simplicity thing for sure, that I just want to control it with 1 sub. And then you also run into another problem with the Anthem, is then it's trying to time delay sub 1, which obviously would be 4 subs, 2 sub 2, which is another 4 subs, and time align that with the mains as well. Anthem voltage runs hot. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it runs very hot. That's why I never had any kind of issue when I was splitting it. I certainly checked. Believe me, I I didn't build all. I certainly didn't want to build everything and then be like, oh, I'm going to just short it a little bit. I'll be right. No, I definitely, even though I don't have to or I don't use it often, I have to have the capability to run the system at 110% if I want to at any time. Charlie B, thank you. Great podcast. Hey, man, that means the world to Kat and I. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're part of the community, brother. You're welcome anytime. I will be on every Friday night like I have been, as long as I don't get sick or if I don't run off to Vegas for a weekend. Kat and I's Wednesdays are kind of getting split up a little bit, but her and I will be back on in 2 weeks to do the giveaway and hang out with everybody right before Christmas. So hopefully you can join us again, Charlie B. Appreciate your presence. Would you still have as many subs as your room had suspended wood flooring? Yeah, I would actually add more subs. And I'm in my living room, we have 4 of the RTJ18s, and it provides a lot of bass, a lot of tactile feel. I think in the suspended wood floor, I have the butt kickers on the seats, so I still get that same effect that it's shaking everything. There's just something about.
It does have suspended wood floors, right?
Well, no, we just built a wood platform, but it's still bolted to the concrete, so it's not suspended. We only built it up off the floor a little bit in case we got water in the basement, but no, it's still screwed down to the concrete, so it's not suspended. I just wanted to me, the 10 or 12 hertz, 11 hertz, 8 hertz, that feeling that you get that there's something eerie going on and kind of like scary. And like, I don't know if everyone or everything around me is going to be okay. That was the feeling that I get into. That feeling actually makes Kat very nauseous. It makes her sick. That's why when I did the high SPL video with her, I had to watch what song I played for what frequencies, because she's cool with some frequencies. Once we drop too low, it makes her sick.
Me no likey.
Yeah, so I'm going to get her in for a video on one of those, but I was just trying to break her in easy on the other 150 dB demo. But certainly that's, yeah, I like that weird, eerie feeling that a lot of low bass gives you. Suspended floors are cool though, because with the 418s in our living room, it shakes up the house good. I get a lot of good bass, and I enjoy that system too. So,
Jack, saying hi to you and I.
Jack, what is up, brother?
Jack.
Thanks for joining us. Like all our awesome subscribers and our Patreons, man, we certainly appreciate all the support from everybody. Scott, you and Kat are a lot of fun. Thank you for these Friday nights. Hey, Warren, like I said, brother, you're more than welcome to join us anytime. We certainly appreciate it. Too loud and too low causes me anxiety. That is Kat.
Yes,
That's
yes.
Kat right there. That's the feeling that I like. Like I said, hey, am I going to be all right? Is the room going to be all right? Is the house going to be all right? Is the person sitting next to me going to be all right? That excites me.
It's kind of like a roller coaster. Some people love the drop, the feel of the drop, and then some people don't like the feel of the drop.
Yeah, it gives. So, and we've had people leave the room and they're just like, hey, that feeling, I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it. So yeah, some people certainly like it. Some people don't. So I can appreciate that. Brian, thank you guys for a great podcast. Always a good time. Hey, thanks, Brian. Me and you chat often, not always on here, but sometimes in the private chat or on our Facebook group. Certainly, like I said, man, we appreciate you coming by, stopping, hanging out with us on a Friday night. Your system is like electric vibrator. Hey, man, keeps her happy, keeps her around. So
I was gonna say, bitches love vibrators.
You were gonna say bitches love vibrators. Oh, you're trying to get us canceled.
No, there was that's like bitches love this, bitches love that.
Oh yeah. Okay, bitches love vibrators. Now we're canceled. All right, guys. I promised you guys an hour. We're at an hour 15. Quick recap. Next Friday night, unbelievable that I get to welcome Matthew Pose from Pose Acoustics and Don Dunn making
sticks.
No, Acoustics. That's
Warren.
I'm gonna make bumper stickers.
Tell him.
I'm gonna make bumper stickers. Say Acoustics and give them away.
He said no more porthole talk. We need those bumper stickers.
So next Friday night, Matthew Pose is going to be on. Don Dunn, both those guys from Audioholics. That's going to be a blast. So Matthew Pose is a complete genius. If you guys have some acoustic questions, I know I'm saying it wrong. Coup. So, our room setup questions. Those. Don's in the business. Matthew's certainly in the business, and he's a very well respected person in the business. So I'm going to learn a lot. I've been in this hobby a long time, and I'm going to learn a lot next Friday night. So let's all put our thinking caps on if you guys want to come hang out. And then the Friday night after that, which is the 22nd, is on my Friday night holiday special for the Friday night AV, where I got Youth Man Michael Stevens coming on. Tony from JTR is going to be on. Mark Giovanetti from the Cinemark Theater is going to be on. And possibly one more special guest that I won't name just in case. He's still on vacation, so I haven't got a positive from him. Or not.
I'm thinking he ain't coming.
No, I think he might come. And then we're going to end off this year with Chris Seymour from Seymour Screens. We're going to start off next year with Base Brings Us Together. We're going to open up and talk all about that and what I have planned for you guys, what I got going on, the dates. We're going to open up. The first seating will be available to our Patreon members. We got a couple Patreons that we certainly appreciate the support from them. So we just want to kind of get back to them. And then a day or two later, we'll just open up to everybody that you want to get in on the event. Looking forward to hosting. We try to keep that event around 50 or 60. I'm adding on something cool this year that people have been asking for. And Mark's saying acoustics. You know, I'm gonna come up. Yeah, I got something for you guys. What's up? Oh, what do you tell people that don't like your set? Do you tell them to get the hell out of here?
I think they wait till they leave to say that. Probably. I don't think anybody's ever.
I've never really had any negative feedback. I've had people come with, not say poor intentions, but people like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. That makes no sense. You don't need that, and blah, blah, blah. And they've come out, and, and not just to try to prove a point to me, just because they want to hang out with the other guys in the group and just kind of chill out for the day. And then after the experience, they say, okay, that's awesome. I get it. I get why you're doing it. And then they kind of come clean and like, hey, I don't have the room, or it doesn't fit into my budget, or my wife wouldn't let me do it. So then the truth of that kind of comes out. I've never really, and I don't care if you're honest with me. I understand what I do in my room might not fit you in your room, but it, like I've said this 1,000 times, I'll say 1,000 times more. We all enjoy the hobby for what it is. We use it as a getaway, just kind of from all the craziness going on in life. So if I'm enjoying myself, you're enjoying yourself. Nobody's room's better than the next guy's rooms.
Everybody likes their own.
Yeah, everybody's doing it. We're all at different stages in our builds, and we all sit there and daydream and window shop. We all go through that kind of shit. But if you're having a good time and I'm having a good time and the next dude's having a good time, then we're doing exactly what a hobby's supposed to do, is give you a good time, give you a mental break from all the stress and all the BS going on around you. And I'm a firm believer in that. Some of the people say, oh, my system ain't as good as yours. Well, my system ain't as good as some guys, and so on and so on. But I don't care. It don't bother me. I mean, there's literally guys out there that have a projector that costs more than both of my setups put together. Like, people spend $200,000 on a projector. Good for them. Can I go check it out? I bet that's awesome. So, all right, I'm gonna, I don't like anybody to feel left out, so I got to keep reading the comments. Man, I can't wait to read that guy's comment, because I feel you, brother, on that one. You're dirty. Probably talk about you, Catherine. You're dirty mouth. You need some Orbits.
Clean it up.
Maybe I get a sponsor deal from Orbits. We are seeing true love, folks. Yeah, dude, no doubt, man. This hobby literally.
You went with me, not your hobby. Maybe
Oh,
I'm wrong.
Maybe with
he
both.
loves the hobby more.
No, I've just known the hobby longer than you, but I love you both. Scott does not seem like a guy that would be rude. I've blocked people just because they want to say ignorant or rude shit to like other people that I know. And, I don't entertain none of that shit. I ain't got time for that. FedEx man, I wish I had started JTR from the beginning. I do too. I'm glad I did the journey. It gave me a lot of experience. Met a lot of people along the way. Got to do some cool stuff. But now that, yeah, I agree with that. No doubt. And you provide a learning experience. I'll say this, and I've said it before. I'm an enthusiastic, extreme enthusiast, I guess, of the hobby. I don't claim myself to be a professional by any means. I do my own measurements, my own calibrations as part of the hobby. But I don't offer professional advice. I offer my 2 cents on certain things, if you ask me, or just my personal experiences. But I'm an enthusiast like all you guys, and we all just kind of share our thoughts and ideas. There are professionals out there that do everything exactly by the numbers and exactly by the book, and they certainly have their place in our hobby as well. That just isn't a way that I pursue the hobby. So I'm not a professional by any means, but I'll certainly give some advice if I have an idea what I'm talking about for that subject. Huh? Yeah. Oh. So anyway, all right, guys, hour and 20 minutes. See, I said at 50 minutes we're going to stop, and then an hour and 10. Now we're at hour 20. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to throw an extra video in over the next couple of weeks where I'm talking about tactile transducers and very near field subwoofers. I get asked that question a lot of how I implement that into my system, and I certainly believe that it's a game changer. I don't know how I could live without them now. It certainly adds a lot to me. So, you guys are enjoying the content, enjoying the channel. I appreciate all the shares everybody's been doing, the likes and the subscriptions. All this means everything to me. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys. Kat and I will not be on next Wednesday, but I will be on here next Friday night with Matthew Pose and Don Dunn. And Jack, good night to you too, brother. I'm glad you're enjoying the podcast. That's kind of why we're doing this, and certainly community driven. Once again, if there's somebody that you guys want me to reach out to for an interview or to kind of chat about the hobby, I've had pretty good luck so far about bringing the guys in you guys are asking for. All I can do is reach out. Some people are cool about, getting on and playing with us. Some people, they won't even respond to your email. Such is life. So if there's somebody that you really want to see, I'll reach out to anybody, and we'll see what happens. So you guys have an awesome
Elon Musk, Mark said.
I'll reach out to him.
Make it happen, Captain.
I will reach out to him, and I will share that I reached out to him, and we'll see. Maybe we'll talk about rockets, and we'll talk about what kind of speakers he puts on his rockets. And maybe, Mark, me and you can go in business. We'll open the first audio store on Mars. We'll just sit there and Jack, I'll see. What did you do with that large cloud of grease? Oh, I put it in my pocket. I brought it home, and I'm going to put it on a necklace for Kat. She's going to wear around her neck. Man, in my shorts and my video, that's my everyday life, man. This is certainly my hobby. The stuff I'm sharing in the shorts is the shit I'm dealing with on a daily basis or nightly basis or weekly or monthly. Yeah, life is crazy in the sewers. Warren, I know you don't like that grease you said you were throwing up the other day. So, all right, guys, have an awesome weekend. Hour and 22 minutes in. Once again, we appreciate the love and support. And have
a great weekend, guys.
We are out of here. Peace out, everybody.